Welcome to ADHD Friendly. I am Patty Blinderman. I am an ADHD coach and the creator of ADHD Friendly, where everything that we do is designed to tilt the playing field so that we are thriving with our ADHD brains in ADHD friendly ways. I invite you to check it out, ADHDfriendly.com, if you want more information about our offerings. It is episode 139.
Wow.
I know. Next week, we're at the special 10.
Yes.
Every 10th episode, I focus on something to do with a personal owner's manual. So check that out next week. But today, I'm going to be talking about ADHD and your teeth. So kind of oral health and the challenges that are really much more prevalent when we have ADHD, and we have some challenges with what the impact is on our teeth. So I'm going to talk about that. But first, as always, I'm going to talk about some celebrations. So first, our subscribers. Welcome if you are one of the 4 new subscribers this week.
All right.
We're at 865. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I really do appreciate the time, effort, the pause that you took to take that action and subscribe. Welcome. We're so excited to have you here. I have a couple of celebrations. So first, Becca, I don't know if you noticed when you got here this morning, but the mulch is leveled.
The mulch is
done. So 4 weekends of mulching, and I'm calling it done.
Yeah.
There might be a slightly higher, like it might be like, thicker,
right,
where the mulch was dumped area. I am perfectly fine with it. I told my husband when we were finishing up last weekend, he was like, well, all right, let's just save the rest for next. I was like, no, I'm so done with the mulch. I'm like, I'm going to hang out here. I'm going to, finish this one last little area and call it done. I'm like, if you want to go back out there and make it thinner and spread, I'm so excited for you, but I am done. I'm not doing anymore. So the mulch is done. My other celebration, it's kind of a funny win, if you will. So last week I talked about sex and ADHD and shared some reasons why that can create some challenges when we have ADHD brain wiring. And so afterwards I thought, I should have offered like a tool or like something concrete, because when you come up with a list of ways that work for you, one of my main tenets is we have to capture it. We have to write it down and preferably put it in your personal owner's manual. So you know where it is, you can go back and find it. And so I thought, maybe we can like offer a tool. And then I was even thinking about recording the episode again and sharing the tool. So I went trying to, quickly create something. And I thought, let me use my chat GPT to see how, what it would come up with. So I literally, it's like, don't like Google certain things. I put into it, give me some ideas for a sex menu with a list of options for couples bored with sex. That was my prompt.
There you go.
And it did, right? It immediately generated them. It gave me, I always forget that when I say menu, people and apparently Chat GPT thinks of it literally. So it gave it to me like appetizers, which it called foreplay. The main course, like it broke it down, desserts, like it literally gave it categories. Even though I've created menus like that, I was just thinking of like the structure of different options, different kind of things that could be interesting. Well, it gave me this menu, if you will, but then it immediately threw up like a warning sign. It kind of slapped my hand and said that it looked like I had violated Chat GPT's user rules, which was so funny because I'm like, what?
You're like me.
I'm like, Chat GPT, you know me. Like, we've come so far. How could you think that I would intentionally do something that's like that's out of bounds? And so I thought that was so funny. That number one, it answered me and it gave me this like nice structure with ideas. And I don't even think I can share it because I'm so like traumatized. I'm such a rule follower. I'm so traumatized by the idea that I did something that was out of bounds, that I got the yellow banner warning sign. And I actually went in and I deleted the menu.
You're sure?
Because I was so like stressed. I was like, let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. And I was trying to figure out, and I don't know if it's gone, but I made it where I can't see it, which let me tolerate it. So I just thought that was like a pretty interesting kind of outcome. So if you watched last week's episode, it was the original episode. I did not re-record it like I was thinking I might, but I did have that kind of funny little trying to support my subscribers with a little bit more information. Got me a little trouble. All right. And then my last celebration is, I don't know about you, Becca, but this Becca is non-ADHD, neurotypical. So I always like, kind of sometimes hear what I'm going to say through the lens of what she's going to say. And Becca's lovely and not judgmental at all, but I went to the dentist.
Okay.
Which is a huge celebration. So I am in a good, like every 6 months routine, and I have been,
yeah, you've been keeping up with your teeth care.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm really, really good about going every, I get very stressed about going. I have a lot of dental anxiety.
Yes.
And I had to find a new dentist. The dentist that I was going to was in network, which was good because we've been going to one for years when we moved here. That was out of network, and the prices just got to a point that I'm like, we don't have dental insurance.
Right.
What's the point? And so I was like, let's find somebody in network, and we found somebody in network. So now we're back to like literally like for just a regular cleaning, maybe a $5 or $10 copay, really doable.
Yes.
But I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have to have any work done besides the cleanings, but I was always like, oh gosh, please don't let me need to have anything done. Cause I almost sensed like a nervousness in the dentist that they were hoping I didn't have to have any work done too. Cause I'm so anxious. I'm like, no, I need somebody that's just like, I've got you.
Yes.
Because I'm not like, you're doing a cleaning and I'm just like you would think that you're like ready to like drill into my brain or something. I'm so stressed out. And so I just thought I need somebody that I'm still going to be tense, but I need them to not be impacted by my anxiety. So I knew when I had my teeth cleaned in October, I have 6 months, 6 spacious, glorious months to wait.
Yes.
Well, of course they go by like that.
They do.
And so the urgency I had since January, that was one of my 24 and 24 goals was to find a new dentist, make an appointment, and get my teeth cleaned. I finally got it done. I got it done in May. So October, November, December, January, February, March, April. I was a month late.
Okay. That's
good. That's pretty good. Especially because I had to find somebody in network. I had to find the reviews. I had to make the appointment. Like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
And I went and I liked the dentist.
Okay.
I liked the experience.
Good.
They did a really nice job of cleaning my teeth where I was like,
they didn't feel like sensitive afterwards.
No, they were very thorough.
Okay.
And here's the main thing I really want to highlight. They complimented my oral hygiene.
You go, girl.
Guys, this is like full, like where I didn't share a lot of details last week with the topic. I'm going to tell you like some personal challenges. If anybody's a fan of The Office, that episode where Michael Scott's like, how do you even brush your teeth? There was like an episode where the building manager is in a wheelchair and he's like, oh my gosh, man, like everything's got to be a struggle. Like, I'm sure you've been brushing your teeth. Like, how long does it take you to brush your teeth? He's like, I don't know, like 30 seconds. Like, oh my gosh, that's like 3 times longer than me. And I just walked. I'm like, oh yeah, that like if we even like have structure around brushing our teeth consistently, it's a really like, okay, check the box. I did it.
Right. Done.
We're not doing a really thorough job because it's pretty boring. It's pretty monotonous. It's pretty tedious. No time in my day feels longer than the time I'm brushing my teeth. Yeah. And I do have the electric toothbrush. So it kind of does the every 30 seconds thing.
And you got a water pick, right?
I got a water pick. That was my main thing. And that's what I really felt like my other dentist I switched away from. I really have put a lot of effort into building once a day the water pick routine. So I've got a brush, I floss, I brush, and I water pick every single day. Once I brush twice, but
like the
water pick at night.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of effort to put that routine in, and I got like crickets. Like if anything, it was like, okay, I really think, I'm not, if you don't start doing that. And I was like,
I am.
I really was trying, like, I was just like, I don't even know what else to do. And so instead of like helping me be like, okay, I'm really noticing that you're doing this. One thing, if you're looking to, tweak what you're doing a little bit, here are a couple of things to, maybe, cause like, I remember like the first time somebody showed me to take your floss and go like, kind of like wiggle it over both sides of the gum. I was like,
Like,
what?
Oh, duh.
What? Yeah, but I didn't know. So I was like,
Right.
oh, I'm just like going in between,
Like,
you
you're
know,
like, oh,
like
you're
check
supposed
the
to do
box
both
kind of thing.
sides.
So like I'm not opposed to learning
Mhm.
how to do it even better, but I'm also aware if you ask me to do too much, or if I feel like what I'm doing isn't worthwhile,
Yeah.
I could drop it pretty instantly.
Yes.
So I felt like this one was very acknowledging. You know, they go through and they do the numbers.
Yep.
For yeah, exactly. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And they're like 1, 2, 3s are good, 4, 5, 6 not so good beginning. And I had 3 4s total, and they were the back teeth.
Okay.
And that was a lot less than the last time I had it done at my previous dentist, where I don't think I had a 5 I made. But again, this is like really, really good.
Yes.
For somebody with ADHD who really struggled with creating a consistent oral hygiene. I didn't start flossing until I was 40.
Right.
Like that was just too big of a reach, too much to ask with consistency.
Yes.
I would floss occasionally, but not consistently.
Like you get like a popcorn kernel.
Exactly. Yeah, I have floss. I wasn't using the floss. So my celebration is I found the new dentist. I went to the new dentist.
Woo!
Oh my gosh.
That's the best
This
feeling.
is such a good thing. And now like I got like unless something goes wrong, unexpected, I got 6 months now of luxurious time and space. I don't have to do it. So
that's win.
It's a huge win. It's a huge win. And I'm going to talk about why these things are challenging with ADHD in a minute. So I'm just kind of doing an overview. All right. So now what I purchased this week. So I don't know if you saw it, Becca. I bought an aloe plant.
You got one.
I got one.
Okay, where'd you get it?
I got it from Home Depot.
Nice.
Because it was kind of like where I was going, and I had my son look up, like, where can I find an aloe plant?
There wasn't any at Trader Joe's.
Oh, so. Yeah, I got my original from Trader Joe's. I shared in an episode in the dead of winter last year. I killed my aloe plant. I literally terminated it because it was so full of those gnats. I couldn't take it anymore. So I had to sacrifice the aloe plant. So I bought a new one. It's just a little guy. But it was kind of a need because I do use it anytime I get a cut or anything.
Yes.
And I'd had the other one for more than 5 years. Like I really was like, I miss my aloe plant. So it was a want, but a need, but it was not impulsive. It was something I've been looking for a while. So I was very excited to have it.
So you need an aloe plant.
Yeah. And then I mentioned I did get the bookmarks. I'm not going to share them yet. I'll share them next week. I think they arrived today because I had to reorder them because the ones I ordered, again, that attention to detail, when I got them, I was like, okay, this doesn't work. Like there was like some margins that were, it was just the way that I designed it and I didn't see it before I ordered it. So I had to reorder them. So that was the other thing I purchased, that it's still a need, but it was a little frustrating because it's rework, you know, I've shared, I hate rework, but that's it. And so I'm 3 days away from my goal, Becca. My reward day, if I gave myself an incentive, I can't remember if I shared this last week or not, where I created a plan that if I don't spend more than $20 each week in non-essentials. So I'm not counting groceries, I'm not counting, you know, like my hair dye, I'm buying my hair dye. Buying if I need nail polish or something, because I'm doing my own nails. It's a journey, people. I've still not hit on the exact thing that's working. I just painted them today with the quick dry nail polish.
They look really good.
Wow.
We'll see if they last.
Yeah, it's not going to last. It's regular nail polish. It'll be gone by tomorrow. But I $20 is a limit, and if I hold that, this Saturday is my goal. I get to buy one of the 2 big reward things that I probably would have bought anyway, but it is definitely feeling different to wait and buy them. Because I told you what I realized when I started tracking this is I'm spending about $100 a week on things that are kind of more impulsive. And do I really need that? And so I thought, well, if I use structure and I allow myself to buy the thing that I really can't justify when I've already spent money on these other things. Well, now if I don't spend money on those other things, I can do the thing that I really want. So I'm doing a podcast episode coming up in the next few weeks on how to organize your hobbies.
Ooh.
And one of the things I need to organize my hobbies is more shelf space. So I'm going to buy some IKEA bookshelves.
Your favorite.
This weekend.
Oh, that's
my reward for not spending more than 20. And actually this week I've spent $6.95. So I'm super, it's very motivating. It's what I get to do instead of feeling it's almost like a spending diet.
Yeah.
But instead of feeling restrictive, it's what does it give me to
Yeah,
not
what do I
spend?
get?
So
Oh,
it's very
that's
fun and exciting. So I'm hoping to celebrate not only that I got my reward, it's between that and a pickleball like little like kit. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with the shelves though, because I really do need to have that so I can share the before and after. Because right now it's my knitting.
Right.
It's everywhere. I have multiple projects going. I can't keep up with it. I can't find anything. And I've tried a couple of different ways to organize it, but it still doesn't all fit in one place. So I'm like, if I just have a couple of bookcases, I put them in my happy room.
Yeah.
More happy, more pretty, and everything in one place instead of
spot.
these things are here and these things are here and these are in a basket over there and these are underneath that cabinet. It's not working because there's too many things that are out of mind. It's not working for me. So that's what I'm going to do with my reward.
Woo!
It's exciting. Okay, now a quick ad from our sponsor, which is ADHD Friendly. I'll be right back. All right. So are you somebody that has ADHD, but hasn't quite figured out how to thrive with ADHD yet? If you're an adult with ADHD and you're frustrated, you're tired, you're losing things, you're running late, you're committing to things without pausing to see, do I really have the space of time or the energy or the ability to commit to that? And then your future self is paying the price for those commitments. Join me at ADHD Friendly, where I create structure to give you information about ADHD, as well as learning how it's showing up for you. Tools to help you support it, from time management to planning and organization to how to prioritize, so that you're able to, more than jump into things, pause and really consider, is this what I most want? Is this something that aligns with my strengths, with my goals, with my values? And you're doing that more consistently so that you're feeling more confident, you're feeling happier, calmer, and starting to thrive more consistently with ADHD. So I invite you to check it out, where next month, Becca, in July, we're going to be offering for the first time in over 2 years, a live personal owner's manual group. Now you can sign up to take the group a la carte. It's going to be $695. It's starting July 10th, which is a Wednesday at 12 Eastern. It's going to run for 7 weeks. So it will run weekly on Wednesdays at 12 Eastern through August 21st. It's $695 for the course, but if you sign up for ADHD Friendly, you can take the course as a member. It's included in the ADHD Friendly membership. Woo-hoo. So if you have ADHD, you need a personal owner's manual. I invite you to check out more information, details, and register if it interests you for the course or for the membership at ADHDfriendly.com. All right, now back to the show. All right, for the tool for this week, it's, again, it's more of a tip, and it's something is more than nothing. So I shared how I was right around 40 when I started flossing.
Yes.
And literally one of the things when I read, I should have had it at my fingertips and I don't see it right now. When I read the book Mini Habits, oh, there it is. It's right in front of me. It's always right in front of me. I don't know why I always think it looks slightly different. By Stephen Guise. One of the examples he gave in this book about how to create a habit, and it's just one of my favorite things about habit creation, because it's one of the things that we really struggle with when we have ADHD brain wiring, is how to make things what he calls stupid small. And one of his examples was floss one tooth.
Oh.
If you floss one tooth, it's more than if you're not flossing at all. Something is more than nothing. And that's literally one of the ways that I started flossing my teeth. And that was before I read that, but it really resonated with, I remember I just used to just floss my front teeth and my front bottom teeth, like the front four.
Yeah.
Because those were like, they're visible. They're where you're going to see if there's anything stuck in between your teeth. The molars were a hard thing for me to
even get back
there, get into it. Yeah. I allowed myself to do it over time. It was more about building up the consistency and the habit. So keeping in mind something is more than nothing is the way forward. So if you're flossing one tooth and you're doing it consistently, ADHD brains are consistently inconsistent. Anything we do consistently is like magic. The way we do that is keep in mind something is more than nothing. So I shared my goal too about spending less than $20 a week and having the goal. It's a little structure around a big thing. Something is more than nothing. If I try to do too much at once, I'm going to stop. It's not going to keep me going forward. So keeping that mantra in mind is my tip for this week. Something is more than nothing. Where could you use that strategy to move from where you are a step closer to where you want to be? Because that's something, that one step is more than if you're still standing in the same spot that you started. Okay, on to the topic this week. ADHD teeth. So literally talking about what are the dental challenges related to ADHD brings. So the challenge is real. If you have ADHD, chances are pretty good that you have some impact with your oral hygiene.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share some research. This was research done on children with ADHD. I could find nothing like complete crickets in the research on adults with ADHD and the challenges that, you know, with the impact on teeth. But let's get into what we do know from the research on kids. So chadd.org, chadd.org, shared a study that showed only 48% of children that have ADHD brush their teeth every morning and the same number every evening. So more than half of these kids are not brushing their teeth at least one of those times, if not both of those times. And another study showed that if a child has ADHD, they had nearly 12 times the odds of having diseased, missing, or filled teeth.
Really?
12 times. Now remember, what happens with our teeth when we're kids, especially if they're your permanent teeth, you're going to be dealing with the impact of that throughout the rest of your life because you only get the second set of teeth. And once your baby teeth fall out, if you get a cavity and it gets filled in your permanent teeth, you're going to be dealing with that in your future life because eventually that cavity will need to be replaced, which means your tooth will have a little decay. It'll have to be removed and a little bit more drill around, a bigger filling go in. And that process will repeat until one day you might need a crown. One day you might need that tooth pulled. You might need an implant. You might need a bridge. All of these things are super expensive, which is the other challenge to dental health and ADHD. There's a lot of challenges. So here are some specific ADHD specific challenges and how, when you think about our brains and the challenge of brushing our teeth, they can show up with trying to keep up with our oral hygiene. So inattention, just forgetting to brush your teeth, right? So like getting in bed and realizing, oh, I forgot.
Right. And then get back
so it's like, am I going to get back up? I'll do it in the morning or whatever that you know, kind of having like a way to pull you into doing that. Managing distractions so that maybe you intend to go brush your teeth and then something, you know, squirrel, virtual, and then you kind of go about your day and you forgot that you just didn't get in there and brush your teeth. Impulsivity. So like, you know, just literally impulsively, I'm just going to do this for a second, or you know what, I'll make a different decision. Paying attention to detail. So like that difficulty on focusing on, you know, like I love like when they're like brush every tooth, focus. It's like, oh,
you're like every single one.
Difficulty creating the structure around the routine of toothbrushing, flossing, all of those things. It's boring.
Yeah.
Remember, our brains are wired for interest. Brushing your teeth can be very boring, especially when you think about 2 minutes. Like, honest to goodness, I'm still, guys, working for the 2 minutes. That is definitely my goal when I brush my teeth every morning and every evening, is to get to that 30-second thing.
Right.
And then to see how long can I go after. I can count probably on my fingers how many times I've gone to the second, the full minute.
Yeah.
And I'm trying. I'm like, okay, front, back, sides, front, back, sides, front, back, sides of every single tooth. And I'm like, how much longer can I even, like, it's
the longest 2 minutes of
it's forever. I'm not going to ask you if you can do that because I kind of don't want to know. All right, tell me. Do you know? Like, are you comfortable answering that question?
What, with brushing my teeth?
How long? Yeah. Like, are you able to do it for 2 minutes every time you brush your teeth?
Yeah, mine shuts off when it's completely done. So I have like a
mine just shut off.
It shuts off when it's done. So I'll just like, once it's completely off, I'm like, and I'm done brushing.
Clearly, I have never hit this point. My toothbrush has never. Oh God, I'm gonna cry. My toothbrush has never turned off. I'm feeling so proud of myself for hitting 30 seconds. It was such a chore to get to 30 seconds. Yours turns off. Now that's interesting to me.
Now
You have piqued my interest.
Yeah.
I am going to brush my teeth tonight and find out if it, or at least I'm going to leave it sitting on the counter running.
It stops vibrating because it doesn't after the 2 minutes. Mine at least. I gotta fill
Do you
up
walk around
with it, and
You do? Because like I can't move. I'm a messy teeth brusher. I can't. No, I can't. I can't. I have to stand right there
in the mirror.
I have to. I am.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know. Sorry.
Now that I do have that routine of like, okay, you know that next, you know,
maybe if I could figure out a way to walk around, maybe if I keep my mouth, because if anything drips, it freaks me out. I need to be near the sink. Standing there for 2 minutes literally hurts my brain.
And sometimes I do, you know,
I'm so glad we're talking this through. I'm coming up with some ideas. Brush until it turns off, but maybe walk around.
Yes.
I just wish you could put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
And just have them, you know, like if they did the dental trays, you just put it in and they brushed your teeth. Almost like, do you remember, I think I talked about this, the scrubbing bubbles.
Yeah.
Do you remember what is that cleaner?
I know, what is
whatever it's called. I literally, when I was a kid, thought when I sprayed the tub, there were going to be these little things that would run around, and I was so disappointed. But like if they had something like that for my mouth, where I just put it in and I could leave it there for 2 minutes and it's doing the scrubbing for me, and then I could walk around and just until bing, and then you take them out and you're done. Yeah. So clearly the boredom part is a huge thing for me. Discomfort. So if you don't have a strong oral hygiene routine, it could be painful to brush your teeth. You could be causing your gums to bleed. If you're flossing and you don't already have a flossing routine. I know, like for me, for some of my teeth, occasionally still I will because I'm just in the routine. I'll push too hard and I will irritate my gum, and
you really gotta be cautious with that.
Your not now brain. Cavities are not something, if you don't brush your teeth today, that just automatically appear. So you are literally asking yourself to think about supporting your future self to not have a cavity by the brushing routines that you have in place each day. That's a future self thing. That's a not now thing. Our brains aren't wired for that. So that can be really challenging. Another challenge, and I didn't really think about this one, is if you take a prescription for ADHD, that can literally impact your appetite, which can impact your teeth. But it also can impact, apparently, one of the side effects for different medications is having a dry mouth, and dry mouth can create more cavities, make you more cavity prone. So there's just even a medication impact with ADHD.
The more you know.
The more you know. Okay, so here's some tips. So when you think about oral hygiene, whether you have children that you're trying to support to create a good, sturdy routine around supporting their oral health, or you're an adult trying to up your own oral health game, track your habit. So, you know, that's one of my favorite things. So whether you have like a little like chart, put it up on the mirror in the bathroom, something you can see that's pulling you in. You're like, oh, I don't want to miss my X on the you know, I brush my teeth, or I floss, I'm brushing, or morning AM, whatever it is. See what you're trying to do and track it so that it's pulling you into it and you can see your progress. Emphasize the routine of brushing the teeth themselves, the habit of brushing, over the technique. So if you remember what I shared about my challenge with the dentist, is I felt like I was putting in a lot of effort. And granted, now that I know, apparently the 2 minutes is a real thing, but maybe they're looking at me going, you tell me you're brushing, but I'm not seeing, but I am. I am brushing every single day, twice a day, but maybe I'm still not brushing in a way that is really what I need to continue to have healthy teeth. So the routine is really essential, though, because if we're not building a routine, we can't work on the technique because we're not doing it consistently enough. So the routine over the technique. Remember, if we could criticize, we could be really sensitive to that. So we want to really emphasize the routine. Use positive reinforcement and rewards. So if you're brushing consistently, right, then it's okay. What do I get for doing that? If that's something that's important to you, or if you're trying to support your kids to go into a routine of tracking it, what do I get for doing this? WIFM, what's in it for me? So build in some reinforcements and some rewards. I love like a sparkly new toothbrush. I love like anything that, you know, I love getting new floss. When I open new floss, even if it's the same floss I use, it's a new container. I'm like, ooh.
It is sparkly.
For parents, if you are trying to help your kids to develop a good oral hygiene routine, use the tell, show, do method. So literally like, okay, so why we need to brush our teeth. Let me show you how to do it, and then do it, showing them like literally how you brush your teeth or how you're flossing. That was a game changer for me when my oral hygienist showed me that, you know, you go back and forth in the teeth and you rock it back and forth in between the gum. I was like, okay, I did not know.
Like,
I thought I had to do was just.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, now the more you know.
Mhm.
Adults, if you're going to the dentist and you're, you know, building your routine, but you're ready for a little bit more to up the technique, it might be, could you share one tip with me that you're
Yeah.
noticing maybe I could be doing a little bit better? What's one thing I could work on? So you have one thing to focus on. You're not like, oh, you know, you really need to add this and this and this. That's too much.
Yes.
Right. So ask for what you
One
need in a way that
thing.
you can take it and use it. Find the right dentist. So a lot of people with ADHD have a lot of dental anxiety because we have a lot of issues with our teeth.
Yeah.
We have a lot of times that we've had to have our teeth filled. We can, I've had dentists who I've left over the course of my adult life. One of my first adult dentists graded me,
Oh.
literally gave me like a score sheet,
Oh,
which
I love
I really do
that.
believe that they had good intentions. It left me so stressed. And I stayed with him for a few years before I was like, I can't. I
'Cause
just
you're
thought that
feeling
was, I felt very
judged.
judged.
Yeah.
And that's what I wrote. I felt judged. I didn't feel confident in the dentist I just left, that I was like so nervous that there was gonna be something wrong with my tooth
Right.
that I was like, I don't want them to have to do anything
Mhm.
other than clean them. Identify ways to make brushing and flossing interesting. So I'm now very interested to see if my toothbrush turns off after 2 minutes.
It is fun to try to not beat the clock, but you're like, all right, like
Yeah.
how many times am I gonna
Yeah.
get through this?
I also like, for me, like to think of it as a challenge, like to not break the streak. Like I am very proud. I wish I'd started earlier, but I am very happy that I'm where I am now because there's still a very large percentage of adults that never floss. That's just not part of their routine.
Right, that's just
Actually,
not
I've heard about a few celebrities on a recent podcast I was listening to that was like, yeah, I don't floss. And I felt really like, okay, I'm not alone, that this is like a really challenging thing, but I feel pretty good that I started when I was 40. Yeah, sure. It would have been great if I started when I was 5, but the reality is people weren't flossing like that when I was growing up. It wasn't even something that people talked about needing to do. And it was a really hard thing for me to add, but I feel things in my teeth now. So I am pulled into it. I have floss in my desk. I have floss in my car. I have floss in my purse
Yeah, my bag.
because I can't stand the feel of it. I never noticed those things because apparently there was always just shit stuff stuck in my teeth. Sorry. But now that I can feel how good it feels to have spaciousness, clean teeth, I'm very aware when there's not.
Addicted to that feeling now because
Yes.
I floss every day now, even if it's just once. But now, yeah, you're so right.
I only floss once a day. Yeah.
And that's like pat myself
Because
on
I get
the
up in the
back.
morning, I'm like, there's nothing to floss. I flossed last night. I haven't even eaten.
Like you're
yet.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally get that feeling. We're not.
Do people floss twice a day?
Yeah.
Do you?
No, I floss once a day.
I mean, I floss like after I eat if there's something, but I'm not flossing every tooth. I'm just flossing if there's something.
I just do like once a day.
Yeah.
Make sure you get it in.
So again, make it interesting. When I got my new water pick, I want to say that was about a year ago. That was very, very sparkly.
Yes.
But it takes more time. So when I add the night height in my sleep hygiene routine, all of those things to it, it's a little bit more of a commitment because the floss takes more time, or the water pick, I should say, is another step. So I found I have to keep it filled with water. If it's low on water and I have to fill it, I'm not going to do it. So there's certain things that I just kind of do as part of my routine. I keep it where it's always ready to be used. So I don't have to do any kind of setup because that would stop me too much resistance late at night.
Yeah.
Okay. And then remember the tip, something is more than nothing. So if you're only floss front teeth first, start with top, add bottom once it's a routine, like whatever, start where it feels like it's sparkly and possible and build the routine. You can always add more, but start with that something is more than nothing. Okay. So keep in mind, if you have kids with ADHD, this is genuinely a challenge. And I've shared this, I think I've said this before, but I couldn't find any reference of it in past episodes. So this, maybe I thought about sharing it, but when we first moved to Illinois, 2 of my 4 kids, I took to the dentist, set them up with a new dentist. Between the 2 kids, in one visit on the same day, there was 25 cavities.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like,
Like,
what? Like, is that even possible?
Right, that's
like, I didn't,
I'm sure that they were all 25.
They showed me.
Jeez Louise.
I know. Because you can have them on the same tooth in multiple spots. Right?
Oh.
So it wasn't like every single one of their teeth, but it was
Yeah.
like this molar had like 3, this molar has 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think one kid had 12, one kid had 13. And this was before I really understood how challenging oral hygiene is with ADHD.
Yeah.
And I got overwhelmed because I know as an adult, I had a similar experience when I was 18 where
Yeah.
I had, you know, probably that many cavities at one time that over the years, I now know the impact. I've had several crowns, like it's, and it's very expensive and it's very nerve wracking to have to go and maintain this. So when you think about what can you do to start? And I know the other thing I know a lot from the work I've done with my clients over the years is it's hard to continue going for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
From dental anxiety to if you don't have dental insurance, the fear of the cost. It's almost like the fear of I don't want to be told if I don't go and I don't have any pain, then everything's fine.
Yeah.
But the longer the break is, the harder it's for us to go. And sometimes there's a lot of shame involved in that. So we don't want to go and say, yeah, it's been blank years since I've been to a dentist, because we can have a lot of that. I don't want other people to know it's embarrassing.
Judge. Yeah. You don't want the judgment.
Yeah. So you tie the shame to the fear and the anxiety of going to the dentist and the cost. And it just becomes this perfect storm of,
nope,
I don't even want to have an insight in mind. I want that gone.
Yeah.
So ask for help is one of the tips that I want to share. So maybe you can get a family or friend to go with you, family member or friend to come along. Yeah. Just so you're not asking yourself to do everything on your own and all the energy to exert it yourself. If you're needing to pick a new dentist, sharing that concern, seeing, you know, how comfortable are they? Because I have to say that's one thing I did not do when I picked this dentist. Yeah. Was really talk about how nervous and how anxious I am about going to the dentist. I always say, like, if you take my blood pressure when I'm at the dentist, oh my gosh, I have no doubt. I'm probably like, you'd probably want to like immediately send me to the ER. Yes. I am so stressed out going to the dentist. A disproportionate amount of stress. Like I'm like literally white knuckling it, where I'm just like, and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Uh-huh." And it's just a teeth cleaning, I hated but it's very, very stressful for me. And then the cost of going to the dentist. So it's that whole like, well, even if I went and they found something, how am I going to pay for it? Right. So there are some lower cost options, whether you have insurance or not. And one of them is there a dental school around, you know, kind of somewhere in your vicinity? Because they need practice. Yes. And so here was a great quote I found. And so I just looked up the University of Chicago was the one that I found locally. They offer discounted rates, and this is their quote, in exchange for an extra investment of your time. It might because they're learning, right? They might take longer, but they're going to charge you less. Yeah. They also shared that they do routine exams, they do fillings, they also do root canals, crowns, and dental implants. So because they have to learn all of it, they're in dental school. So that might be a way, if the cost is the main factor of finding a way to reduce that. So it's not becoming the obstacle that is keeping you from having your teeth
looked at, even
supported. Yeah. So when you think about your teeth and your oral health, what's one thing that you could do to increase going from where you are right now to what you'd like to have for your teeth? What's the first step for that? Maybe it's, I just going to go get my teeth clean. What's the very first step for that for you? And then how will you remember your plan? So if you have an intention to plan, how are you going to remember it? What do you need to do in terms of creating a prompt or putting something in your site? I remember when I was trying to do the water pick, I had to like literally move it so that it was right in front of, and that way, because otherwise, if I put it into, you know, under the cabinet, I have to get it. No, it needs to be plugged in, ready to go all the time. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. There's no way I would get it out and set it up every time to use it. It had to be really easy to use. If there's other strategies that have worked, if this is an area that you have some wins in, that you would like to share, this is episode 139. We'd love to hear anything else that you can share from your experience with ADHD teeth and how to thrive so that we're keeping our teeth are healthier longer, and we're able to smile with more confidence because we're taking care of our teeth. Okay. Very, very quickly, because I've talked a lot. This is a longer episode and I didn't really think it was going to be. So for the book of the week, I am recommending Gone with the Wind.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's actually one of my favorite books ever. But I am recommending the audiobook.
Ooh.
I know. I've never listened to it before. I've read it several times. It's one of my favorite movies, but I've never listened to it.
I feel like that'd be fun with the accents.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. My sister actually said it's her favorite audiobook. Now, my favorite audiobook is Harry Potter. So I was like, I didn't even know my sister loved Gone with the Wind. Right. I thought that was just a me thing. So I was like, well, then I have to give it a try. And I listened to it and I did love it.
It like reels you in.
It was really good. And I feel like I heard things that I don't remember reading. And it's been a lot of years since I read it, but I still felt like there were parts I completely forgot, and it was a lot of fun to listen to.
Wow.
So I'm just recommending that. If that's a book that you've enjoyed, but you've never listened to it, I'm recommending the audiobook. Okay. And so my quote for this week is from Scarlett herself, Scarlett O'Hara. And Scarlett says, and I think of Scarlett as like one of the original undiagnosed ADHD women. Absolutely. She says, I'll think about that tomorrow. After all, tomorrow is another day. We're really good at thinking about things another time, not today. So I love that. All right, that's it for this episode. As always, take what works for you, leave the rest behind. If you want to post anything to do with this episode, again, 139. That's it for this week. Until next time, tally ho.